Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Toby here, and today I wanted to talk about my accident and important lessons that I learned from it. So this was back in July. I think this was like 7 months ago, actually, and time has flown, but I think this is going to be some really helpful insight for the younger guys that are looking into building a high horsepower rear wheel drive car. I always butcher that. Let's try that again. Rear wheel drive car. And basically, I think this will be some really helpful info as to where I went wrong with the build and why that happened. But even though it happened, I think everything happens for a reason, so let's jump into this. So I always wanted to Whipple Supercharge a Mustang GT, like that was my dream to boost one of those cars, especially knowing how good of a platform the Gen 3 Coyote was. But anyways, that's besides the point. The mistake that I made was that I didn't realize how fast I would light up those Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. So that was mistake number one, like not having any awareness whatsoever that if I kept lighting up and blowing up the tires every time I did a pull from first to second gear, like just for fun, it would wear out the tread really fast. And that's honestly negligence on my part. I didn't pay attention to it. So I think I went through all the tread of those Michelin Pilot Sport 4S after 2,000 miles of being on that supercharger setup. So like the tread went super fast. So I was doing back-to-back second gear pulls because I thought it was so fun. Like, I don't know, I never experienced that power before, and obviously I just got it, so I wanted to rip it. So the install, I think, took place in, I want to say April, and I had the car for 2 months supercharged, and then the rainy season hit really bad. So I went to Gainesville up here at the University of Florida to go to summer class, and my semester started like on the 31st or the 1st of July. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I remember. So it was either June 31st or July 1st. But anyways, that weekend of July 3rd, I wanted to go to Orlando, and I was just lighting up the tires like crazy, having fun with my friends and stuff as we were driving around, because like it's like that new excitement of getting a new car. Like once you supercharge the car, it's like getting a new car and you want to drive it like crazy and all that type of stuff and put a bunch of miles on it and basically just do like a bunch of unnecessary driving. Mind you guys, I was on stock suspension as well, so I was getting really bad and uneven tread wear between the back two tires because I would get crazy wheel hops. So that was mistake number two that I made, besides keeping awareness of my tire tread, was being on stock suspension. Like if you guys want to build one of these cars, you need to be on the BMR suspension or Steeda suspension ASAP. So I'm talking vertical links, cradle lockout bushings, adjustable toe links, all that jazz. Like the Stop the Hop kit, Steeda makes it, and I highly recommend it. So I had all this uneven tread wear, and we decided to go to Orlando like in the middle of this huge rainstorm. So everything's good. We get there. Next day, we're driving early in the morning, and I'm with my friend Devin. So we're going off of this highway route because there's so much traffic and that type of stuff, and I merge onto like a side highway, and I'm going like 40 miles an hour. I kid you not, and I start going sideways. So what was the problem here? Well, I had uneven tread wear and my tires were completely bald, more bald on one side. I think it was like the right side. And I didn't know to keep my eye out for that because I didn't think that I would light up and go through tread that fast within 2,000 miles. So that was my negligence on that part. And I want to make sure that you guys don't make that same mistake. So be aware that you're going to have to change out your tires a lot more often. Now, obviously I tried to correct it because I was sliding the car around before I ever got the supercharger. Like that was my priority, to make sure that I could know how to handle the car, especially the Mustang being front heavy. So I was always whipping it around and stuff before I actually got the supercharger. So what I did is I countersteered when I started spinning, and it worked, but I mean it wasn't enough. So when I countersteered it, I went into the further lane on this highway. So it's like a 3-lane highway. I was on the outer lane. I start sliding over all the way to the furthest right lane. I regain control of the car, but then I start spinning for a second time. And then I went into the trees and bushes. I mean, I'll be putting up videos and pictures of the whole thing, but overall, my mistake was not keeping track of my tire tread, and I was also driving in the normal mode. So you have this crazy throttle response with that 132 millimeter throttle body from Whipple, and I was shifting third to fourth. So I was going about 40 miles an hour because I just came off of that merging road onto this highway, and I hit third to fourth. I put my foot back down on the pedal, and that's when I started going sideways. So mistake number three, I guess you could say, is not using the rain/snow mode on the Mustang. So if you go through the modes, definitely put that on if you're driving a supercharged car, because even if you tap the throttle, you get all this crazy throttle response, especially from a Whipple. But yeah, like I said earlier, somehow I didn't total out the car. It was just all cosmetic damages. The airbags didn't go off, any of that, and I ended up getting the car back in, I want to say August, like end of August by my birthday. So I got super lucky this time. I know other people that have gotten into accidents with hydroplaning and that type of stuff didn't get so lucky as me. I mean, they get seriously hurt, they lose their car and that type of stuff. So I'm incredibly fortunate on that aspect. But the main reason why I wanted to make this video is so that you guys don't make the same mistake as me. So obviously make sure to use that rain/snow mode if you're going to be driving in the rain with a supercharged car like that. Also make sure to keep track of your tire tread, and also, what was the last thing that I said? Oh yeah, upgrade your suspension. Like that should be like the first thing that you do. If you want to supercharge the car, make sure you do all the supporting mods. I did about 75% of supporting mods, so like clutch, oil pump gears, and crankshaft sprocket. And then I just completely neglected the suspension, or that I needed a drag pack to hook properly. So like just that type of negligence and stuff can cost you your car. But I mean, hey, I got a really valuable life experience out of it. I got a good scare, so now I'm like really scared to drive the car pretty much like at all times, because I just know that if I was regularly driving and I lost control like that, what would happen if I lost control if I was going super fast? Like that's just a thought that I have in my head. So I guess it just like completely calmed me down, because I was always ripping the car and all that type of stuff. And I guess it was just like a maturing moment where I just calmed down completely. But I mean, hey, the comeback is crazy. After that, I got the bead locks. So I'll be putting up pictures and that type of stuff to go along with this narrative here. But yeah, I mean, we made a full swing comeback. We changed up the grill, got the carbon fiber fenders on it. I got the carbon fiber hood coming. Just 7 months after I got into that accident where I thought the car was going to be toast and totaled, the car went 11.3 at 128 miles an hour. Now, this was with a 1.960 foot. So, I mean, obviously the car is 10-second quarter mile capable. It just needs a better launch. And I wasn't driving on that pass. That was my boy Jay. I'll put a video up of the pass, but yeah, anything is possible. I mean, I got super lucky, and that's just a takeaway, that you can't take these things for granted, and you need to be fully aware that there are serious consequences to these serious horsepower cars. I mean, having that valuable learning experience is definitely going to give me headway in the future of this build, but I plan to do a full carbon fiber front end. We're also going to get the car on 85, and it's going to be on a built trans. So I already upgraded my axles to the GT350 ones. I'm just going to wait until I snap those, and then we'll go on the 2000 horsepower ones, and I'll have a built MT82 so I can rip it at the track all day long. The end goal is to have about, I mean, a low 10-second car, because it's really hard to do that in the MT82 because of the gearing. Like, the gearing's not optimal for the drag strip and that type of stuff. I'm not entirely sure if that changes with the built trans, but the end goal is to make 850 wheel horsepower on E85. So if you guys want to see that happen, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.